Melbourne's week from hell has ended with a horrifying spike in cases, 288 new infections. The record daily total has prompted a backflip on masks. Victorians urged to wear face coverings if they can't social distance. Our top cop reveals 60 fines have been handed out to people flouting the rules. But there's been a lifeline for small business, an extra $500 million to get traders to the other side. Andrew Lund begins our coverage.
Even after a long week of bad numbers, today's figure came as a shock.
288 new cases today is a pretty ugly number.
It's Australia's biggest single-day increase since the pandemic began.
I know that there will be great concern about these numbers. People will feel particularly concerned to see that number as high as it is.
And so today, a change in advice, with Melburnians told to wear face masks in places where physical distancing can't be guaranteed.
It is our request of you. It's not compulsory. We're simply asking that if you can wear a mask where you can't distance, that's exactly what we would like you to do.
It's very clear now that there is a community transmission issue in Melbourne.
With 7 cases reclassified, the net increase of 281 takes Victoria's total cases to 3,379. 47 people are in hospital, including 12 in intensive care. Authorities are now dealing with 1,172 active cases.
And we will see an increase in hospitalised and ICU cases and in deaths in coming days because of the spike that we've seen in numbers in recent days.
14 more health workers are among those to test positive. 26 of the new cases are linked to known outbreaks, while 262 cases are under investigation. Health chiefs are particularly worried by spikes in Roxburgh Park, Craigieburn and Truganina.
The effect of the lockdown will really only be seen in the numbers in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So we may well get worse numbers to follow.
It is concerning. They have called for help, they're getting help.
A surge in testing has identified 4 cases at Essendon's Lamanas supermarket and a number of cases outside the Melbourne lockdown area, including one linked to a childcare centre in Ocean Grove. Aged care providers are calling for positive cases in retirement homes to be treated in hospitals.
To give us the opportunity in the facility to make sure that other residents aren't infected.
As case numbers continue to rise, so too does concern for Victoria's economy, with the Treasurer warning it will likely take years for the state to recover.
We anticipate that our unemployment rate is likely to peak at 11%.
The government's unveiled a $534 million support package for business. The Minister in charge of jobs is also in charge of the department responsible for staffing the botched hotel quarantine operation.
All of the matters regarding the decision-making, the operation and any of the failures in regards to hotel quarantine will be dealt with by Justice Coate in her inquiry.
It's due to hold its first hearing later this month. In the meantime, the Premier is again asking Melburnians to spend the weekend flattening the curve.
This is not a normal weekend. It really isn't. And I just appeal to everybody to play their part.
Andrew Lund, 9 News.
The latest coronavirus numbers are alarming because they've surged past the previous peak when the pandemic first swept across Melbourne. Brett McLeod's been looking at the figures and has this breakdown.
Think back to just last month when we recorded days of no new COVID cases to realise just how much has changed. In the first wave, March was our peak in the daily number of coronavirus cases, 111 at the highest. They fell away until this last fortnight when they started skyrocketing by comparison. Today that number more than doubled the previous highest. The number of active cases peaked in March at 622, again before falling away. Today it's over 1,000, putting an even greater strain on the public health system. And the reason we're talking about masks now, the running total of the number of community transmission cases, infections of unknown origin. Even in March they were below 50. Today that number is closer to 10 times that. And we've been told to expect all those numbers to go up before we're on the other side of this wave.
The Chief Commissioner has slammed the behaviour of those blatantly breaking lockdown laws. Lana Murphy's at the Bacchus Marsh checkpoint. Lana, how many fines have been handed out?
There's been 60 issued in the past 24 hours, Brett, and since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, checkpoints like this one in Bacchus Marsh have seen 12 drivers fined. A handful have also been arrested for trying to evade police, and all up 5,500 vehicles have been coming through these border checkpoints. I have just confirmed that 2 new ones will be established tonight north of Melbourne, that's in Avenel and in Heathcote near the Mitchell Shire, as that ring of steel, Pete, closes in on Melbourne. This could be Victoria's last line of defence, and the military is standing side by side with police in the fight to contain the virus.
Where are you coming from and where are you going to today?
Lines stretched for kilometres during the morning peak along the Princes Freeway and in Bacchus Marsh as motorists left lockdown.
From Tullamarine to Woodend.
The Chief Commissioner revealing why there is a hardline approach.
There are consequences.
At 1:30 this morning, police fined 16 people gathered to celebrate a birthday at a Dandenong home after paramedics on break saw 2 men ordering 20 meals at KFC.
When we went in, there were 2 people asleep in there, but there were 16 others hiding out the back. That is absolutely ridiculous, that type of behaviour.
Each person was fined, a total of $26,000 for the public purse.
That's a heck of a birthday party to recall, and I'll remember that one for a long time.
In the same hour, a couple from Docklands tried to get to their holiday house in Phillip Island, hitting 2 roadblocks, first in Lang Lang where they received a warning, then in Long Warry when they were fined. 4 sex workers were also fined in Glen Waverley after police noticed a large number of men going in and out of the house.
If we see that behaviour continue, then all of Melbourne will not be locked down for 6 weeks. We'll be locked down for much longer than that.
Now a Facebook group is trying to expose specific police checkpoint locations. It has close to 2,500 members who claim freedom is everything. Posts include screenshots of maps and street names to evade the roadblocks. But Victoria Police says there is no escape. Its members have the authority to stop anyone, anywhere, whether it's at a major roadblock just like this one or in a quiet suburban street.
We already know that the over-policing hasn't worked. I mean, these border checkpoints, we don't know if they're going to work or not.
We go down to Brimbank and we worry about getting pulled over just to go to Aldi's or something. You know, we're out shopping.
At the end of the day, there's lives at risk, so I think it's good. I think they're just doing their job.
Lana Murphy, 9 News.